Yeah. Yeah. Can you believe they told me that I would never make it? Now we smiling in their faces, smiling in their faces.
Balance, because if you put all the money into just the backcourt, and then you're kind of like your flexibility is restricted going forward to fill out the rest of the team, then that's kind of like riding when you just have the training wheels on your bike, but
brother, this guy stinks.
Okay.
Rich Paul is on a monumental run right now. Like, this guy has got to be probably the worst dude in media when it comes to basketball right now. His takes every time call for a video. Like, if you making content around basketball, it's hard not to talk about Rich Paul right now. If y'all don't know what's going on, Rich Paul really is supposed to be an agent. Now let me read for you what an agent is supposed to do. An NBA agent's primary responsibility is to manage a player's business, career, handling contract negotiations, salaries, endorsements, marketing their client as best as they can, providing financial guidance. But when has an agent talked about trade talks? So if you don't know what I'm talking about, Rich Paul is basically hinting at they should probably trade somebody like Austin Reaves to get a player like Jaren Jackson. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. Let's roll the clip.
The Lakers have options. If I was the Lakers, I would probably be targeting the Memphis Grizzlies as a trade partner
for
Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, that'd be a great fit.
I would.
For whom?
Well, that's the thing, because you got to figure out the package. But some way, somehow, I would be trying to get Jaren Jackson, maybe get back Gigi Jackson and Jackson Associates, because he's a young player that you can develop, got good size, can shoot the ball. But I think if you're building around Luka going forward, which they are,
you need a guy like that.
You need that anchor. And Jaren doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild. They just put Ja Morant on the market, right? Saying that they're willing to trade him, etc.
It's a great call.
So I think that would be a trade partner for me. Now, the package just goes out is what you have to decide. Because if you're able to trade out expirings and give up the last first round pick you got, that could be one scenario, right? Or you could say, let me withhold that, but this comes with
Reaves.
This comes with a very unemotional attachment, because Austin is beloved, which he should be.
But he's about to get paid.
He's an underdog. And here's the thing. If there's a world where you can do what's best for your team and do what's best for Austin, because Austin deserves to get paid right now. I love him as a Laker, but if that is a situation where we get in balance, because if you put all the money into just the backcourt, and then you're kind of like your flexibility is restricted going forward to fill out the rest of the team, then that's kind of like riding when you just have the training wheels on your bike, but the one training wheel is off and it kind of leans. That's kind of like that, right?
Listing.
And I think people, so that's one aspect of it.
If I'm Austin Reaves' agent, I'm calling Rich Paul right now. Let's shoot the fair ones, bro. You ain't gonna be doing my guy like that. Second time, first off, you're hinting that he's a six man. Oh, now he's trade bait. Now, he should get paid. I'm not saying he shouldn't get paid, but I'm just saying, we can, package something around this or do this, bro. Why are we talking about that, not talking about your client, who you should always be representing, and not talking about trade stuff? Because you're not a GM, you're not a president of basketball operations. You're an agent. You think you know X's and O's? Dude, there's a clip of this clown saying he was telling LeBron, reading plays of LeBron from the sideline. Bro, shut up, bro. You're like 5'6", bro. You ain't do nothing with basketball. Be quiet. And at the end of the day, let's just be frank. Your 41-year-old client is complaining about back-to-backs. He plays no defense. He's like the worst defensive rating on the team. And you're talking about Austin Reaves, who's one of the best, if not the best, defensive rating of all the starters when they're playing. LeBron is in the 400s of defensive rating. He's old. He's complaining about back-to-backs. So instead, we have a roster spot taken up by his trash son. We have his spot taken up, which he's eating up $50-something million, and he's not contributing like a player that can play on both ends. And we already have another defensive weakling like Luka Doncic on the team. But we're not going to talk about LeBron's weaknesses. We're going to talk about Austin Reaves, about his play potentially going to a different team, because your client will play better with the stretch big instead of another guard who takes the ball and off. Like, come on, bro. Let's just be for real. This has got to be the most like nonsense type of take that you can obviously probably hear, bro. He's not in his lane. He's not staying in his lane. All I'm seeing every time is this dude sitting there make a mockery of himself. He doesn't understand the damage he's doing. Like, the media is already looking at Clutch Sports and all these dudes as like, bro, these dudes are just simping for LeBron, and they trying to make LeBron look good at any chance they get, which is understandable. He's your client. But you understand something? When you do too much, when you talk too much, when you're constantly bringing down other people, you're talking about Karl Malone, you're comparing everybody else to LeBron could be like Karl Malone and this season, and then, oh, well, Jordan didn't do this. It's like, bro, you speak negatively about everybody else but your own client. Of course, I understand why you would, but it makes you look like a clown because all you're trying to do is diminish other people's characters, diminish other people's trade value, diminish the team saying they're not contenders. All you do is talk negatively about everybody else. But your client is the most defensive weakness on the team. Your client is the weakest link on the team at this point. He's 41 years old. It's time for him to go. But all we're going to do is talk about everything else besides the fact that when he came back to the Lakers became a worse team. When he came back to the Lakers became a worse team. The Lakers obviously don't play well with LeBron in the lineup because they had more of a cohesiveness and a more, obviously, of an understanding of how the offense is going to work. And you can see that visually, and you can understand even the coach that you hired and you got in there, JJ Redick, is sitting there talking about that. He's telling you, he's saying, I can't do this. You know, ever since LeBron came back, you know, there's some things that, you know, he's hinting at it. It's LeBron, bro. But what does his agent do? He gets up there and talks about a dude in his prime who's like 25, 26 years old, as he's the scapegoat for the problem. He's the sixth man. He needs to be traded, but not your freaking client who needs to hang it up. He had a great career. I got respect for LeBron. But let's just be honest, man. This is some bullshit. Leave me your comments down below. What do you think about Rich Paul? Do you think an agent should speak this way? And do you think that this is going to have a negative effect on the Lakers as it continues with this podcast going, with these headlines? I don't know, man. It's a lot going on. I had to break this down as a person that's making basketball-related content. So if you're new to the channel, you know what to do. I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Peace.